Welcome to the English Effect. Today, we're going to naturally improve your English vocabulary by stepping directly into the magical, cinematic world of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. As this story unfolds in today's explainer, I want you to pay really close attention to the powerful, descriptive words used to bring this classic tale to life. Let's jump right in. Our story actually begins on the dark, quiet, and honestly pretty boring street of Privet Drive. An elderly wizard named Albus Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall leave an orphaned baby on a doorstep. It's this incredibly quiet moment that brilliantly illustrates the sheer weight of this little boy's destiny, especially when McGonagall famously whispers, "There won't be a child in our world who doesn't know his name." But before the magic really begins, we have to look at Section 1. The ordinary world and the call. To truly understand Harry's early life, we need to look at our first vocabulary word, which is vulnerable. It means exposed to the possibility of physical or emotional harm. You see, for 10 whole years, Harry lives a miserable, perfectly mundane life in a literal cupboard under the stairs. He is completely vulnerable to the cruel Dursley family. Well, that is until a giant named Hagrid arrives with a mysterious letter. And here's a fun fact for you. The filmmakers specifically cast Robbie Coltrane as Hagrid because they needed someone who looked tough but was also incredibly warm and, you guessed it, vulnerable. Now, despite his rough upbringing, Harry's reactions to the world around him are just incredible. He remains entirely unfazed. This means not dismayed or thrown off by something unexpected. For example, when Harry visits the reptile house at the zoo and suddenly realizes he can speak directly to a massive boa constrictor, he is remarkably unfazed. He just casually accepts this bizarre occurrence, which really hints at the deep magic hiding inside of him. And that brings us to Section 2, a hidden magical world. Let's just trace how incredibly fast Harry is pulled from his normal, boring life. We go from that cramped little cupboard to the bizarre reptile house, and then suddenly he's walking down the Dickensian cobblestone streets of Diagon Alley to visit Gringotts Bank. The timeline just accelerates from there as he heads to platform 9 3/4 at King's Cross Station, literally sprinting straight through a solid brick wall. Before he even boards the train, Harry experiences a truly pivotal moment. Pivotal means of crucial importance. Inside Ollivander's wand shop, a magical wand finally chooses Harry. Mr. Ollivander tells him that the wand chooses the wizard, and he makes a point to note that the wizard who gave Harry his famous lightning bolt scar did terrible but great things. This is a totally pivotal scene because it connects Harry's dark past directly to his magical future. Once aboard the Hogwarts Express, Harry meets his very first real friend, Ron Weasley. Now, the absolute perfect word to describe Ron is mischievous, which means playfully causing trouble. Right away, Ron mischievously shows off a fake spell to turn his pet rat yellow. Actually, the filmmakers cast Rupert Grint as Ron precisely because he had this devilish, mischievous quality that just practically jumped right off the screen. Which leads us to Section 3, Welcome to Hogwarts. As Harry steps foot inside the castle, the visual world completely transforms. The defining word for this feeling is Antiquity, meaning the ancient past. The author J.K. Rowling originally emphasized the great antiquity of Hogwarts to the film's production designer. So walking into the Great Hall surrounded by real stone architecture and hundreds of floating glowing candles, Harry's just struck by a breathtaking sense of ancient magic and antiquity. This visual contrast is absolutely crucial. Think about the world Harry just left behind. It was mundane, strict, gray, and cruel with the Dursleys. Now compare that to the warmth, the mystery, and the wondrous glow of the Hogwarts sorting ceremony. For the first time in his life, he's finally found a place where he truly belongs. During that sorting ceremony, the enchanted sorting hat places the new students into one of 4 houses: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin. After some pretty intense deliberation, where Harry literally begs not to be put in Slytherin, the hat famously places Harry, along with his new best friends Ron and Hermione, into Gryffindor. Now we venture into Section 4, Secrets of the Castle. As the students start their classes, Hermione Granger's behavior gives us the perfect example of our next word, meticulous. This means showing great attention to detail. In Professor Flitwick's Charms class, Hermione demonstrates a highly meticulous approach when she confidently corrects Ron's pronunciation of the levitation charm. As she points out, you have to enunciate perfectly. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. In sharp contrast to Charms, we head down into the dark dungeons, where Professor Snape teaches potions. Snape actually describes his class as a subtle science. Subtle means something is so delicate or precise that it's difficult to describe. As Snape points out, there is no foolish wand-waving in his class. It requires immense focus and incredibly subtle precision. Snape's deeply intimidating welcome speech also introduces a really atmospheric word, ensnare, which simply means to catch in a trap. He chillingly tells his students that he can teach them how to bewitch the mind and ensnare the senses. It's a powerful phrase, right? It instantly tells you exactly how dangerous and brilliant Professor Snape really is.
All of this beautiful tension leads us right into Section 5, the Philosopher's Stone.
While exploring the castle late at night, Harry stumbles upon the magical mirror of Irisyd, which shows him standing alongside his deceased parents. The entire emotional core of this scene hinges on the word desperate. Professor Dumbledore gently warns Harry that the mirror shows nothing more than the deepest, most desperate desires of our hearts, that hopeless sense that a situation is just impossible to deal with. He even cautions Harry that men have literally gone mad staring into it.
The plot really thickens when the trio realizes someone is trying to steal a highly guarded object hidden beneath a trap door. To protect it, they have to face a series of perilous trials. It's like a magical obstacle course. First, they have to escape a massive three-headed dog named Fluffy. Second, Harry has to catch an enchanted flying key while riding a broomstick. And finally, they have to win a violent, life-sized wizard's chess match, which culminates in Ron bravely sacrificing his own piece just to let Harry proceed.
So what exactly are they protecting down there? Hermione actually discovers the answer in a giant library book. It's the legendary Philosopher's Stone, an ancient object with astonishing powers. Astonishing means extremely impressive or amazing. For example, this stone can transform any ordinary metal into pure gold. But much more importantly, the stone produces the elixir of life, and this brings us to the word immortal, meaning living forever. The dark wizard Voldemort, who has been surviving like a terrible parasite on the back of Professor Quirrell's head, desperately wants the stone so he can become immortal and finally return to full power. Which brings us to our final act, Section 6, the magic of language. Harry bravely faces Quirrell and Voldemort deep beneath the castle, and he actually survives because Quirrell physically cannot bear to touch him. As Dumbledore later explains to a recovering Harry, his mother sacrificed herself to save him, and that kind of deep, unconditional love leaves a lasting, invisible mark on your very skin. While we've covered some genuinely incredible, emotionally rich vocabulary in today's explainer, so I want to ask you, which word perfectly describes your absolute favorite character in this story? Was it the meticulous Hermione, the mischievous Ron, or maybe the unfazed Harry? I'd love for you to write a sentence in the comments below using one of today's brand new words. As Albus Dumbledore so wisely reminds us, words are, in his not-so-humble opinion, our most inexhaustible source of magic. So, how are you going to use your new vocabulary to shape the world around you? Thank you so much for learning with us today. If you want to continue building your English skills through cinematic storytelling, please hit the like button, share this lesson with a friend, and subscribe to The English Effect. We'll see you in the next story.